Hello, I'm glad you're watching this. Today we are going to have a conversation about mindset. And before we start our conversation, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever asked yourself, why do we have some people who achieve massive success while others, just as talented as they are, struggle to make progress? The answer is not skills or luck. In fact, research shows that there is one key factor which makes the difference, and that is mindset. And that's why today I want to see how your mindset shapes your success, how you can rewire it for growth. So mindset is simply a collection of beliefs, attitudes, feelings, and your perception towards the world. Carol Dweck, she is a professor at Stanford University and also a psychologist, comes up with two types of mindset. The first one being a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is a belief that your intelligence and skill can be improved and developed over time with effort and perseverance. While fixed mindset, on the other hand, is the belief that someone is born with a certain level of intelligence or skill, and as such they don't have much control on developing and improving them. Now, what I'm really trying to mean is fixed mindset is simply the belief that intelligence and capability or abilities are fixed and innate at birth, while a growth mindset is the belief that your intelligence, your skill, your capability can be improved and developed over time. It is true that people start at different level in their life. We have those people who are born with natural talents. We have those people who are born with natural interest in different fields or in different areas. But that does not limit them from growth. Therefore, growth comes from applying yourself continuously, to practice, to exercise, to learn, and to see how you can stretch yourself a bit to acquire something new. I'm going to give you three examples which are going to bring this out clearly. When students in class score better grades, a student with a fixed mindset will say, wow, that is great. It means that I'm very good in this area, or I'm very intelligent. While on the other hand, a student with a growth mindset will say that it means I've really worked hard, and it means that I've learned a lot. And when it comes to maybe you are being given a new assignment or you are working on a new project, a person with a growth mindset will say, I hope this will be interesting. While an individual with a fixed mindset will say to himself or herself, I wish this will be easy. You know, each and every time they are trying to see something that is easy so that they avoid the challenge that comes with learning something new. And in that case, if a negative feedback is given, you'll see individuals with a growth mindset say, wow, it means that there is a great opportunity for me to learn something new that maybe I will not have known if the feedback was not given. While an individual with a fixed mindset will say that this really proves that I'm not good enough and there is nothing else that I can do to improve. Why does a mindset even matter? Dr. Dr. Dweck's work tries to establish the correlation between an individual underlying belief system and how it impacts performance. And in her work, she establishes that individuals with a growth mindset achieved more compared to individuals with a fixed mindset. In the case of a school where a test was given to students, it was established that students who believe that intelligence and abilities can be improved performed or scored better in their tests compared to their counterparts. Also, when it came to the performance on the student well-being, it was established that students with a growth mindset scored better as compared to students with a fixed mindset. And in companies where growth mindset culture is encouraged, there is something that was established, that collaborations are encouraged, which increases the level of creativity. And you see in those companies, the level of innovation will be very high. And when supervisors of such companies were asked to give feedback about their employees, they gave positive feedback as compared to organizations and companies where growth mindset culture has not been cultivated. And you see that this affected the overall performance of the company, and something that we realize that where growth mindset is encouraged and employees together with employers are seeking continuously to improve their skill to see how they can adapt to the dynamic nature of the marketplace, you establish that they will be able to learn how to survive and be able to be ahead of competition. Now, this is because individuals with a growth mindset embrace challenges. They see challenges as opportunities for growth and not obstacles. And thus they challenge themselves more, and this helps them to get out of their comfort zone, which now accelerates their level of growth. An individual with a fixed mindset will be so fearful and will not want to come out of their comfort zone, which means they will not have a chance to learn as much as they could, which in turn will limit their growth, and they will only grow to the extent or the level to which they are willing to get out of their comfort zone. You are where you are and have what you have today because of the thinking that is going on in your mind. So you change your thinking, you transform your life totally. Henry Ford said something which is very important, that if you believe you can or you can't, you are right. This is because as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. Thinking or how you think affect greatly how you are going to turn out to be in life. And this does not now mean that there is a person who has achieved a level of perfect growth mindset. In fact, individual can manifest both mindset in various aspects of life. For instance, you might demonstrate a growth mindset in your professional life, but when it comes to your general life, you have a fixed mindset. There are some times that you shall feel motivated and you shall believe in your abilities and capabilities to learn and to grow. And there are times you shall feel stuck. And that's how life is. So the goal is to continually reflect and search within ourselves to see some of the limiting factors or beliefs, and let us always be on the move to work on those limiting factors so that we just reduce on the chances or the risk of us staying in stagnation. And when we improve these things or this limiting belief, we will be increasing our chances to achieving what we want in life. While mindset plays a key role in your life and it contributes immensely to your success, it is important to know that there are other factors that determine your success, and this should give you a reason to set realistic goals. Factors like access to opportunities, resources, luck, and even physical abilities can play a role in how successful you are going to become. So each time we are setting a goal, let us be realistic that you are going to consider all these things just to make sure that the goals you're coming up with are realistic and can be achieved, so that you don't strain yourself so much trying to achieve something that is beyond your reach. How do you now develop a growth mindset? Think of a mind like a muscle. Each time a muscle is exposed to continuous exercise and stretching, it grows. Now, the mind works on the principle of neuroplasticity, which states that the mind is malleable and thus can be developed, meaning that the mind has the ability to change and to adapt throughout an individual life. Now, the mind has what we call neural pathways. Each time the mind is exposed to a new idea, new environment, new experience, it forms new neural pathways or enhances the existing one. And the reason why the mind does this is because it is reorganizing itself to see how best it can respond or how best it can adapt to the changing nature of the world. But you need to know that the mind is always seeking for comfort. If you don't now stretch your mind to reach to the level where it will be willing to adapt to the dynamics or the changing nature and everything that's happening around you. And so it's very possible for you to develop a growth mindset. But you also need to understand that even as a child is born, they are born knowing nothing. But as they grow up, they go on picking things in the environment, what they hear from their parents, when they go to school, what they learn at school, and the things that are repetitively spoken to them start to form their belief system, which then determines their mindset. And in the same way, it takes time and repetition for a mindset to be developed when a young child is growing up, which really means that now for you to develop a growth mindset, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a process that is going to take time. It's a process that is going to require some effort, and it's a process that is going to require intentionality. Because if you focus on developing your mindset, it means that you are going to focus on yourself rather than what other people or the environment is going to give to you. And so I'm going to share with you 5 practical steps on how you can develop a growth mindset. And the first step for you to develop a growth mindset is for you to identify the mindset you have. This happens through self-reflection. You need to ask yourself, how do you respond when things happen around you? How do you respond in the event of setback, in the event that you hit a roadblock? Are you a person who will always be seeking for individual to blame for your shortcoming so that you look good at the expense of growing? Do you ever find yourself in these fixed mindset traps, saying to yourself, well, I'm not good enough. That is how things are. Even if I try, I know that I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to change. And therefore you choose to sit there doing nothing, and that's just how your life is. Running from responsibility to look good. And also be aware of the green-eyed monster, envy. How do you respond or react when faced with other people who have succeeded? Are you the kind of person who will look at them and say that I wish I will have what they have, instead of using it as an inspiration for you to keep on pursuing your dream because you've seen someone else has been able to work hard and they have results to show? The second step is continuous learning. A mind which has been exposed to a new experience, new information, new environment will never be back to its original state. Marvel at how much you don't know and use it as a tool to learn as much as you can. Aspire to learn something new every day, whether it is about a skill set in your career or delving into a topic of your interest, learning about economics, learning about philosophy, learning about how you can improve your own life and be able to affect the life of other people, learning how you can be a good leader, learning how you can be able to manage your finances. Those are some of the things which you can just be curious to learn about. You can learn this through reading books, listening to podcasts, attending seminars, or just finding someone who you think you can learn from and work with them. Be ready to learn from them. Be ready to ask them questions so that they can explain to you what are some of the experiences, what are some of the things they have gained through their journey. Number 3 is to embrace challenges. Life, in life, you must expect challenges. Challenges are not obstacles, are opportunities for you to learn, for you to grow, for you to challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone. Because When a challenge presents itself, it creates an uncomfortable path, which is the starting point of growth. One of the ways for you to be able to embrace challenges is if you detach your performance from your identity. People with a fixed mindset will always seek for opportunities to expose their strength because they are on a mission to protect their ego. And if you protect your ego, you will not grow, because growth must come from you first, your weaknesses being exposed, and to you learning on how you are going to improve yourself, as opposed to individual the growth mindset who will always seek for opportunities to expose their weakness. Is because they know the only way to learn is if they know which areas they are weak in and they seek to improve, and this affect their overall performance, because there are areas which they are already good at and they are adding on areas that they have been weak on, meaning there is an improvement that is being done compared to an individual who will only seek to improve what they are good in or they are good at, because they will only be good at that one thing and therefore limit their growth potential. So the best way is to view challenges not as obstacles on your success journey, but as opportunity and avenues for you to grow, for you to stretch out of your comfort zone, and for you to experience new experiences. And having that in mind is also to know that failure is not a dead end to itself. In fact, failure is not a proof of your incapability. Failure really is a proof of your bravery to try something. Because each time you try something and you fail, there are things that you learn and you work on the information that you've acquired through that period, and use that information to use that information to do better when doing something else in future. The fourth key step for developing a growth mindset is to appreciate effort. We have the tendency of appreciating result and the destiny. But as important as the result and destination is, also is the journey and the process. What you need to understand that the process might not be that easy. You might put in a lot of effort and progress might not be seen. But what you need to understand that each day when you put in effort, you are not the same as you were before, which means that there is growth happening, and through that you are cultivating endurance. And endurance is what will keep you going when things get tough. So effort really is very important. And it is not what you get in life that matter. It is the person you become in the process of achieving what you want. So if that is going to be your statement every day, you realize that much effort will be dedicated to the effort and the process. And if you appreciate the effort and the process, something you realize that number one, you are building persistence. Number two, you are building perseverance. And if you have perseverance, you will be able to keep on at something even if all odds shall be against you, and that shall accelerate you, and that shall increase your chances of becoming better, the chances of you growing, the chances of you getting what you want. And in so doing, it's preparing you in the event that something negative happens to you, you will be able to pick yourself up and start all over again. Which takes us now to the final step, which is to seek constructive feedback. Feedback plays a key role in your life. You know, feedback is getting an outside perspective of how you are doing things. It points out your blind spots. It points out opportunities for growth. So you need to make feedback your friend, a tool for you to learn and to grow. Each time you receive each time you receive feedback and you act on it, You are learning something that you will not have learned. So feedback is not a personal attack itself for you to grow and for you to know what areas in your life that need improvement, and you start working on them, improving in those areas, and you'll soon realize that you are moving ahead just because of the feedback you're receiving from the people close to you. So that has been our discussion about mindset. That growth mindset is what shall give you a chance to grow. Growth mindset is what will make you get out of the comfort zone. Growth mindset is what will really push you ahead, and is what will distinguish you from the rest of the people. But remember that no one has a perfect mindset. We are always on a journey to identify the limiting beliefs and working to make sure that we are on the journey to keep on improving. It is possible that you can learn a new skill, you can have a new experience, you can develop a new talent. And let me know what one thing you are going to start working on today, because I believe that action is what makes progress. And I am made to understand that information is power, but if you don't apply the information that you've received, there is no much that is going to happen in your life. So take that action step now, and see you on the next level of your life. Until we meet again, bye for now.